Hi, guys. How are you this morning? And happy Easter to all of you. We are waiting on rain. We
Oh, it's
expect.
raining.
Is it raining
It's
already?
raining.
Okay, so guess we're not waiting anymore. We got rain. So I know sometimes I'd happily send it all out to my friends in California. You'd be welcome to it, but yeah, we need a little bit of rain, just a little. It's all good. And it's typical for us here at this time of year, especially on Easter weekend. Good Friday is always gloomy and wet, which it was. And then today's more gloomy and wet, but we're supposed to get some sunshine tomorrow. So
Here's hoping.
here's hoping. So sunshine for Easter Sunday is also oddly normal. So today we have a few things. Shout out for the week. This week is to Viking Woodcrafts at www.vikingwoodcrafts.com. My friends over there at Viking and is also the publisher of Painting World magazine. So if you don't subscribe to that magazine, do yourself a big favor. Go and check it out. You can go see that on paintingworld.com, which is a subsidiary of Viking Woodcrafts. Go check that out and check out some of the great surfaces. And of course, they carry patterns by some of your favorite artists.
Wink,
They
wink,
do have
nudge,
mine.
nudge.
So if you're in the U.S. and you want to order print patterns, that's a great place to go because Viking will take really good care of you. And my friend Curtis over there. Curtis, if you happen to see this, mwah, happy Easter, my son. Hope you're doing well. What else? Happy Mail. I had Happy Mail this week.
Happy man.
It was Happy Mail because it was something that I'd been looking for and I finally found it and I ordered it and now I get to share. So I have an obsession with a whole bunch of things, apparently, but not the least of which is those wax seals. I've been using them quite frequently in some of my artwork. I just really like them. They're fun, and I have several. I did, however, find this one this week. I've been so excited about this. Renee thought it was rather weird that I was excited. But this one, I finally found a skull one. And in this one, it's wearing a crown and has roses on it. I'm pretty excited about that. So I got my new wax seal stamp. And I'll tell you something. Buying just one of these things, these will run anywhere from $14 to $25 just for one. I'll tell you a little secret. Go on Amazon. You can get one of these little books. And in it are 5 heads plus one stamp. So there's a total of 6 stamps. And the handle in one little set. And this was $25 Canadian. $24.99 I paid for that. So nice little set too. And I just happened I got my skull. So, and then the other day...
$20 US.
Yeah, $20 US for a set of 6 stamps. So, of course, I had to do a sampler so that I could see what they look like. So I just did these on black cardstock, put a little bit of wax down, and then tested out all my stamps. And that gives me an idea, reminds me of which ones I have. But I made the mistake yesterday going back on Amazon, and I typed in wax stamps.
Cindy says our Hobby Lobby doesn't carry asphaltum.
It should. It carries a full line.
Maybe they're just out.
That could be. It does carry. They do carry a full line at Hobby Lobby. So, but I found another set of wax stamps, and for Halloween. So I found a spider. I know, the lady that doesn't like spiders. But I also found a bat and a spider web and a couple of other things. So they're uniquely Halloween. So, of course, I had to get those too. So, tiny obsession. We did get some new stuff on the website this week. These are really cool. These are stencils from, I'm going to put this against a black background because it just occurred to me that you won't be able to see it. These are from Southern Ridge Trading. We've got these up on the website right now. These are really cool. This one is the seashells. I think they're really, really neat. And then there's this really cool one. I think I think our pal Deb Antonek had her fingers in this one. But this is a really cool one. This abstract one is pretty neat. So we've got those up on the website this week. We did get more of the Victorian signs, those small 2-piece ornament sets. We got those back in. But then, of course, while I was talking to Karen, the owner at Southern Ridge, I had to get the bigger version. So now we've got the larger ones as well. Because I really like this surface. It's a nice one.
Oh, Sandy's here.
Hey, Miss Sandy. Miss Sandy is home. She was off gallivanting around the nation. She was down to Orlando, Florida for the NAMTA and Creativation trade show. She was down there doing product demos for Decort. So that was pretty exciting. We're glad to have you back, Sandy. Safe and sound. Can't wait till our next FaceTime, and then you can tell me about all of the cool goodies that you saw while you were down there. And what else? Oh, yes. I wanted to give a shout out to a regular. She watches us every week, and she is in hospital right now. So Miss Karen Wilson, my sweet, we are thinking of you and hoping that you're doing better and that you will be home. I'm so sorry that you're not home with family for the Easter holiday, but just know that we are thinking of you. And thank you. If you're watching, and I believe you are, if you're watching, thank you for joining us, even if it is from a hospital bed and you can't grab your paintbrushes. But I'm glad you're here with us. So.
She's here.
Is she wave? Yay. Good.
Yeah.
Such a sweet lady. I get emails from her, and she's always got a sweet little prayer at the bottom of every little email. So nice to hear from her. I got emails from my pals down under this week. So if you're watching from friends in Queensland, in Brisbane, and a couple of friends in Sydney and whatnot, thanks so much for reaching out. Really appreciate it and love hearing your little messages. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know when we go live. I know it's late in the day by the time we're on. So that was my shout out to some friends. What else did we got today? There was something else.
There's Jessica. I haven't seen
Miss Jessica.
Where's Franco?
Linda's here somewhere.
Where's Lindo? Lindo.
She'll be here somewhere.
Where's Linda?
I know, because she bought the pattern that was up for today.
Oh, yeah.
And I finished off that local honey piece. It's up hanging on the wall next to Renee's desk. I finished that one up today. The pattern for that one, I posted the photos on Facebook page. I'm running out of walls. Everything's plastered. So I'm going to be
she is.
Scratching my nose a lot today. Allergies are driving me crazy.
That's why I didn't see it.
Oh.
She's on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, there she is. I'm here. We have so many regulars on here. It's so nice to see your names pop up in the chat. And it's so nice, especially because we can dual stream to Facebook. It's nice to be able to see everybody on there. So if you're wondering why I keep looking down in a way, it's because I have the Facebook app open on my iPad and I'm watching the chat on there. I can see the chat on the YouTube channel from the computer screen right behind the camera. And then I've got the chat here for Facebook. So I can't read it because I don't have glasses that strong, but anyway, today we're going.
I'd be worried if you did.
Yeah, so would I.
Start selling your originals.
That's probably a good idea. I have a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. So right off the bat, going to tell you we are going to be doing mixed media next weekend, and it involves roses and butterflies.
Who knew?
So we're going to be next Saturday. We're going to be doing mixed media. So I'll get that piece finished up for you and have that pattern posted probably tomorrow afternoon or Monday. So that will be up. And today, however, we're going to be painting sweet peas. I love this piece. I love the original. The original is done on an arched panel with lots of checkerboards, whatnot. It's a really fun piece. Then I took that same design, transferred it onto an 8x8 because it made such a pretty addition to the to that teacup floral series. And then I asked my group to send me some ideas for teacup florals, and oh boy, did they come through. So over the weekend, I think I did 12
I
line
think the
drawings.
term is bombarded.
Yes. They had lots of suggestions and lots of really good ideas. So I've got line drawings for a whole bunch of new ones. So there's 5 right now. There should be, by the time I'm done with this series, probably 12. Because I've got, I think, 8 or 9 line drawings sitting here. So, but today we're going to focus on this this one with the sweet peas. This is one of my favorites. I love this one with the flowers. Sweet peas to me are a vintage flower. They're not something that a lot of people plant anymore. So it's a vintage flower. I like the fact that we've put them into sort of a vintage style teacup. I think it's pretty. And it is very girly. My grandmother used to use teacups to put flowers in when we were kids. When we would be out walking around the farm, we would bring in sweet peas we picked out of her garden, or we would bring in, a blossom off of a hollyhock or what have you. And it always found its way into one of her little fancy teacups and would be sitting on the kitchen windowsill. And so that is what originally inspired this series, was working this handpicked flowers in a vintage teacup. So
Happy Easter and Passover.
yes, happy Easter and Passover. And Easter weekend is a quiet one for us. It's always been a very quiet one, particularly after COVID.
It's the April flower.
It's the April flower. Is it really? Sweet peas?
Apparently.
I did not know that.
So we need bunches of 8x8 panels.
Yeah, you need bunches of 8x8 panels. I got some beautiful wooden ones this week too. I was really excited about that. But I'll tell you, these 8x8 canvases, you can buy them in packages at Michael's when they have those deals on canvas. And I think there's 12 in a package. And they're very reasonably priced. So they're, what do they call them? The super value artist loft bundles. So yeah, they're great. So if you're wondering what I'm painting on, that's what I'm painting on, is those artist loft canvases. They're fantastic.
All right.
All right. So I think that I am ready to get started.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
You sure?
Yeah. I have tea.
You have tea?
I have tea.
I have coffee. And I think my dog's asleep.
Oh, good. Finally, she settled down. Miss Dot was a tad rambunctious this morning.
She really wanted to go for that walk.
Yeah.
And then it started raining.
She no longer wanted to go for that walk.
Whoa! Okay, hold on.
What happened?
God, I had something going on there.
Oh, yeah, I would say. Yeah. There's a bit of a delay, so I don't actually see what the camera is showing me until it...
What's this? That's highlighter. Where's the thingy?
Trying to stabilize the camera. Give him a second there. He'll sort it out. So gardening season is coming up quickly. I have flower beds to get ready and my raised planters to get ready, my raised garden to get ready in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Are we good?
I hope so.
So the one we are today is called Sweet Pea or Sweet Tea. I love this with this fun little butterfly in there. This one is just a fun one to paint, and it's not difficult to do. I've done a little bit of prep work for mine, and
Does that seem blown out to you?
the color looks great.
It could just be my screen.
Could be just your screen. Color looks good on Facebook.
Yeah,
So.
okay.
So I have in here with this floral, because we're working on a black background. I thought it'd be a good idea to put a coat of gesso down, just a thin coat of gesso, before I put the pink on. And then I promptly forgot what I was going to do and just started base coating with the pink. So 4 coats later, I have a reasonable amount of coverage. Had I been thinking, I would have just put the gesso on, but my plan was to put gesso, and then I completely forgot my plan. So You know, some days the elevator doesn't go to the top floor.
Some days.
Some days. Be careful, young man. So we're going to start with this teacup down here.
Mine's still in the gutter. I don't have an elevator.
I know.
It lives in the gutter. Plays with all the other miscreants and...
The miscreants, that's a good word. So we're going to start with this teacup, and the first thing we're going to do is stencil it. I'm using a 1/8 polka dot stencil. This is one of my favorites. I love the 1/8 polka dot. I've discovered that my obsession is not with postal cancellation stamps, it's with round things.
Okay.
Polka dots. I'm a little obsessed with polka dots too. I've noticed that in recent weeks.
The ne'er-do-wells.
Ne'er-do-wells. That's a good term.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use a little bit of lamp black. Now, the fun part about this, if you wanted to reverse this and then use white on the black spaces as opposed to using black on the white spaces, that works too. And it does make for a nice change. Changes up the cup a little bit. But I'm going to use lamp black.
I'm going to zoom in a bit here.
On the stencil brush.
We got room to zoom in, so we'll zoom in. There we go.
Now, the fun part about this, because you're working on a black background, you don't really have to worry a whole lot about where this black goes. Just take care not to get it in places that you don't necessarily want it.
Patrick is asking if the gesso is thinned and not straight out of the bottle.
Yes, I thin it out a little bit so that I don't get a really lumpy application. So, a little bit of black. I'm trying to avoid getting the black on the areas that I want to remain white. On the upside, a little bit of white will cover up any oopsies you make. There we go. Circular fashion. I change directions frequently so that I get a nice even distribution of color. There we go. Now the nice part is I got a couple of little spots there where the polka dots have gotten up over the white. So I can just take a little bit of white paint and clean that up again, just to bury those little dots.
That is really pink.
It is very pink. The pink that I used is called Petal Pink. I like this one because it marries very nicely to some of the softer purples and lavenders and whatnot, because I think it has a touch of purple in it. So I can go into some really over the top pinks and purples to work with it, and it works really nicely. It is a very nice.
Reminds me of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
SpongeBob? What? How does that remind you of Oh, like Patrick Starfish?
Patrick the Starfish? Why do I know that?
How do you know that?
I don't know. How do I know that?
Well, the internet is a weird place.
Yeah, that's true. There's something creepy about Patrick.
I like Patrick.
There's something creepy about Patrick. There's something really creepy about SpongeBob, though.
Oh, SpongeBob's just... No.
Right out there.
Yeah. But I like Patrick because he means well.
Yeah.
He is very good-hearted. He's just
Weird.
dumb as a post.
Okay. So I have my stenciling in place. So we're going to start by I'm going to dry this, make sure it's good and dry. And then we're going to start shading our teacup. Now, this one is really straightforward. I use Asphaltum for this. And I will say, this line drawing, when it's enlarged and painted on a larger scale, is very pretty.
I'm going to answer Jessica Killoran's question.
Oh, no.
And the answer is rabbits.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I want to know what that question?
Question was, what is everyone's favorite food for their Easter gathering? Rabbit. Rabbit stew.
Hassenpfeffer.
Hassenpfeffer?
No. we're having we're having ham. I suggested lamb. Your father, being a Catholic, suggested that was not appropriate.
Sacrilegious. We eat the lamb.
I like lamb.
Lamb's
though.
delicious.
I'm not. The older I get, the less I want turkey. I don't.
Ugh.
Yeah, I just don't. Turkey's not a favorite of mine.
And I got a yum from Jessica.
Yum.
Yeah, there we go. Yes, rabbit is delicious. It's just in poor taste to have it on Easter.
Yes.
Especially if you have children around that still believe in the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. It's a rather harsh introduction to reality.
Yeah, a little bit. Get used to it.
Awful.
Come November, we're looking for reindeer.
Oh my gosh. I apologize for my son.
If you have little ones around, I apologize too.
He has an evil and twisted sense of humor.
Yeah, well.
So I had several really great emails this week. One in particular really got my attention. She's apparently been watching some of my videos and is a little confused by some of the terminology. She's a very new painter. So some of the terminology she does not understand, which is expected. I mean, we painters seem to have our own language when we talk about things like floating and shading and highlighting and dry brushing and scumbling. And we talk about a bunch of different terminologies. And so I'm going to try and explain some of that terminology as I go. Because it really, this is, to my mind, a beginner project. Although it looks complex, it really isn't. The line drawing may be, but the piece itself is not all that complex, nor are the techniques that are involved. They do, however, take some practice. So I'm going to try and take the time to explain some of the terminology and explain some of the techniques a bit more clear, because I've come to realize that there's actually quite a few new painters that are watching. So I don't want to put you off, and I don't want you to feel that you're not, that your questions aren't important, because they really are. And we experienced painters have a tendency sometimes to forget that the people that are watching us, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's at a convention or whatnot, may not necessarily understand what that terminology means. So I'm going to take the opportunity to explain it a little more clearly, and hopefully, and then that way, if you have questions, please feel free to put them into the chat window, either on Facebook or on the YouTube channel. And we'll be happy to answer them for you. And if we don't see them right away, feel free to put a question, any question that you have. Go to the messenger system on my website at tracymoreau.net. There's a little speech bubble on the homepage right in the lower right-hand corner. You can click on that and type in a question and send it to us. That way we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. So we're going to start with this teacup, and we're going to use the technique of floating. Now, floating essentially is just utilizing a small amount of color and creating a gradient so that we get a soft shadow. Now, I'm trying to get the paint out of the bottle. It doesn't want to come out. Okay, there we go.
That dog.
What'd she do now?
No, she needs to go pee.
Ah,
Now she's rolling around in the backyard.
okay. So, floating. Now, there's two ways to do this. I float using a little bit of a medium. This is Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze. But you can do this with water. Load the brush up so you get lots of juice in it. And then I like to just bring it up the side of the jar, like so. All that does is sort of express the excess out. You can use a piece of damp paper towel to do this, or you can use a sponge to do this, but just tap it so that you don't have a ton of liquid in the brush. Then you're going to pick up a small amount of paint just on the corner of the brush.
Ooh, this is a busy chat room. It was a busy chat today. Got one question here
Okay.
from Beth. Can you
Beth?
explain what the matte medium is for? I've never used it.
Matte medium. Oh, you mean this medium? Or fast dry glaze?
Yeah, she just says matte medium.
Oh, matte medium is a medium for, it was originally designed to take the sheen out of paint, believe it or not. But it has a multitude of uses. You can use it as a barrier coat, meaning you can seal something with it. You can use it as an adhesive, using it as a decoupage medium. So if you're applying paper for mixed media or collage, you can use it for that. And one of the best ways that you can use a matte medium is, and I'll come back to that, is that barrier coat. So when you have done some very delicate line work or something on a piece, you want to protect it before you move on to the next stage, put a coat of matte medium over it. It dries completely matte, gives you a nice uniform surface, and it protects what you've already put down, so that if you make a mistake on the next or the following steps, you can remove it without damaging the other paint. So it is a great protectant. It's a great adhesive, and you can mix it with your acrylic paint to create a dead flat or a matte finish. So most paints are either an eggshell or a low gloss paint, and so you can use a matte medium to take that shine or that sheen out.
And I'll get you to move your palette into the frame a little bit. Perfect.
So I'm going to load up my brush, a little bit of acrylic paint on the corner, and then I'm going to brush back and forth to load the brush, and it moves to the left. I'm going to put a little arrow there. So you're going to walk into that puddle, meaning you're moving the brush along, and then walk back out. And what that does is it creates a gradient, a dark value on this corner that gradually lightens as it goes to the other corner. This is how you're going to float. So that color is going to go up underneath these petals. And I'm using the whole chisel edge of that brush on the surface. Lay the whole brush on the surface. And that's going to give you a nice gradient of color. So darkest under the edge, and then it gradually fades out.
We actually got a question from Karen Wilson.
Hi, Karen.
Is gouache just acrylics on steroids, or is it a different animal altogether?
Gouache.
Gouache
is the name of the
gouache.
word.
Okay.
And yes, it's a different character altogether. Gouache does not have binding agents in it. It's a significant amount of pigment, whatnot. So when you're using a gouache, it must be sealed.
It sounds like you should add garlic. Gouache.
Yes, it is not the same as an acrylic paint.
Renee, did you just say bucking for reindeer? What? No.
Looking for reindeer.
Looking for reindeer. I am very careful on the words I use.
He is, indeed. It's because I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
And I wear flip-flops.
Yeah. No, I try my hardest to not use foul language while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
If you heard me off stream, it'd be a different story. It's quite colorful.
He's actually reasonably restrained.
Yeah.
I have this thing about field mouth.
You know what? I haven't had a good case of field mouth in a long time.
I know. I'm so proud.
And just because I'm not in the army anymore.
So I like to take that color. It's just a wash I put over that handle. I just like the kind of aged look that it gives.
Gotta go check on puppers.
Yep. So I've put a float of asphaltum underneath the floral, along the edge of the rim of the teacup here. I put a light wash of the asphaltum over the handle and then deepen it where it joins the cup. Right there. So that it separates and gives that cup a little deference. I've shaded both ends of this saucer And I've shaded along the bottom of that cup. Now I'm going to take that color and I'm going to lift that tag off the surface by putting a float right here. I want that teacup, that tag to lift off a little bit. So I'm deepening that shadow underneath it, just like so. I like to see that separation. And it's just a little float. I'm not using a ton of color. I just want that contrast from the bright white of that tag to that darker shadow underneath it. This does not have to be a harsh shadow. So if you feel it needs to be softened a little bit, don't be afraid to soften it. Now I'm going to use a little bit of warm white to add a highlight to this base because I want to lift this base, this black portion, off of the surface. Otherwise it just looks like it stops there. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of warm white. And I'm going to put a float on both sides. This isn't really a highlight. It's just enough to bring that teacup forward. Of course, you need a little more paint than that. There we go. And it's surprising that you don't need a ton of color to do that. It's just changing the value of that black. I'm going to dry that because it's not grabbing the color. There we go. That's better. So I've used a very weak float to bring that forward a little bit. I don't want a ton of color on there. I just want enough to separate it from the background. We are going to put a brighter highlight on it at some point, but it doesn't need to be right now. There we go. I've got a spot here that I'm not happy with. There we go. There. Just, I had a little bit of a halo from that float, and I just needed to diffuse it a little. There we go. So now we have our teacup. I'll dry that really quick. I like this more simple pattern, using the contrast to give us what we want as opposed to using a ton of pattern. So using a simple polka dot and then the black and the white with this barred-like pattern. It gives us some dimension, gives us some pattern, and it plays up all the color that we have here. And at the same time keeps it grounded. So we're going to use just that black and white. I'm going to do a little bit of shading on that tag. I do like my tag to have a little bit of shape. And so I'm going to come in from the edge of the tag just a little. I want to keep a thin line of white on the outside edge, just a little bit. And I'm not worried about this float being perfect. I'm just creating a little bit of age and a little texture to this tag. So we don't need it to be perfect. And then we're going to create a little bit of fun with this tag. I like to have some lettering. I'm going to dry this. And it gives me a chance to use this wonderful little stamp set that I found. I got this off of Amazon. I love little alphabet stamps, but I have oodles of alphabet stamps. I have them in a variety of sizes. If you can't, this isn't in the budget, there's some really great ones that you can get at Michael's. These little Craft Smart wood stamps. These are handy. They're usually only, a couple of bucks out of the bins at the front of the store. They usually have these little sets in there. These work beautifully. So you can use whatever you have on hand. And then if you're really pressed, make a photocopy of the line drawing and then cut out let me see if I can find it here. Just cut out the tag. And you can decoupage that on instead if you don't have the stamp set. That's why I have it stamped on the original line drawing. So I'm going to use this little stamp set because this was a bit of a coup. I found this on Amazon. Somebody had given me a heads up about this, and we have the upper and lowercase plus all the numbers and the symbols in it, and I think it was $18 or $19. It was so inexpensive, and it was just a great little stamp set. And so I'm going to use a Stays-On stamp pad, and we're going to stamp Sweet Tea onto this. So I need an S. And this is a great size. These aren't too big. This actually works really, really well. Now, you can do this a number of different ways, but I'm going to do it like this. There's my S. And I need a W. I like that these are in alphabetical order. Now, if I can remember to put them back in the box the same way. W. This is just a fun way, and you can customize this any way you want. If you don't want to use Sweet Tea, don't use Sweet Tea. Use something else and put somebody's name on it or a date if you wanted to. There's a whole bunch of fun ways you can customize this. I love these little alphabet stamps. It's just a fun way to add a little extra to things. And Sweet Tea. There we go. And these ones are super easy to clean. I just take a baby wipe to them after a bit and cleans them up really well. And they come in this great little box, which is handy. The only downside is you got to make sure all of those stamps are set up properly in that box. But this was a great little set for the money. It was a very good little set for the money. Now, I also have an obsession with these pens, and we'll get to that as we go. But we're going to use the pen to add some detail as well. But I really like how that little stamped image, it just adds a little something to that tag, a little more realism. And I don't worry if they're not perfect. This one is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, so I kind of like that. Gives it a distressed appearance, but it's also a fun way to customize things. So now we are on to, we're going to finish out little highlights on our teacup. I'm using titanium white for this, just a little bit on the edge of this teacup. Nice bright white right there. And we can also put a dry brushed highlight on this teacup if you want. I'm going to use my point blender for this and a little bit of titanium white. And I'm going to pull just a light dry brushed highlight. Now, a dry brush, we talk about these things. A dry brushed highlight is a tiny bit of paint on either a scumbler. In this case, I'm using a point blender. You can use a dome stippler or a dome blender for this. And then you just blend out on your palette until the brush is almost dry. And then you can just lightly stroke in your highlight on your cup. This is a fast and dirty way to put a highlight on. So there I have my highlight. And we're going to do the edge of the cup. And I'm going to cheat. You can do this with gold paint and a liner brush, but I love these. This is an extra fine liquid gold paint pen. And these are fantabulous. They're inexpensive. You can get them on Amazon, and you're just going to draw in that border like so. Just like that.
So I've been having fun with your chat.
Okay.
I was outside playing with Dot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've been...
Have you been instigating things?
I haven't been instigating. No, I was just having a chat with them.
Okay.
And they pointed out that my name wasn't Blue.
Your name was what?
Wasn't Blue.
It's not Blue?
Yeah, so I made myself a moderator.
Okay. Well done.
That's why you didn't hear me, Sheila. Because I was outside playing with the puppy dog and chatting with...
Yeah. He had to...
on my phone.
Had to take the pupper dogs outside. So I just used a little bit of that gold paint pen to draw in the border or the edge, that little rim on our teacup. So now we're going to focus our energies on these pretty, pretty flowers. I love sweet peas. The colors that I chose to shade my flowers with are Berry Cobbler. I love this color. Why do I keep getting these schmeglies on everything?
Oh, Kathy was wondering what brush you were using.
For
I don't know.
shading or this one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is a medium point blender. It's an IPC brush. I love this brush. It's a great dry brush because it's got a nice point. And so I have really great control over this one. It's an awesome brush. So now we're going to focus on doing the shading on these flowers, but this is also where I want to introduce something. We're going to use a mop brush because I want nice soft shadows on these flowers. We're going to use a mop brush. I don't often do that, and but I think it's important for this particular flower. So we're going to start on these back flowers here with Berry Cobbler, and we're going to float this, so it means water or glaze in the brush, well blended, and we're going to float into darkest value towards the center of it.
I'm not getting too many chats from Facebook here. What's going on?
I don't know.
Am I
They're there. Oh my God, there's a brush I don't have, Nancy McNeil. This is I'm using a 3/8 angle for this. And I'm using, the mop that I'm using is a 5/8. This is a natural pony bristle. This one. I don't use too many natural bristle brushes, but I do like my pony mop.
Ethically sourced.
Yes, ethically sourced.
Gotta say that. A lot of people would be like, oh, it's a pony brush. Grr, you're hurting animals. No, ethically sourced.
Ethically sourced. So I'm just putting in my float, separating all of these little flowers, all these petals.
Oh, we were just watching a beautiful painting come together. That's why I'm not seeing too much chat in the Facebook area.
They're busy.
They're either painting along or just enjoying the serenity of painting.
We do have some great giveaways today.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that.
I know. We have
We normally mention that like
right at the beginning, but
right at the
no,
beginning,
we have some awesome giveaways today.
yes.
Today's giveaways, we have 3 sets of Tombow watercolor dual end markers.
We have 4 giveaways.
4. What's the other one? Oh, yes. That's the Tombow pencils.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I stand corrected. We have 4 giveaways. So yes, we have the Tombow. I have a full set of them, all 150 colors, because I'm an idiot. and I have to have all the toys.
IPC is the
Ink, pastel, and chalk is what
Yeah.
IPC stands for.
it's the line, isn't it?
It is a line of mixed media brushes and tools. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they're by Dynasty.
Yep, made by Dynasty. And if you're looking for these, they have them available on the Brush Guys website at thebrushguys.com. And there is a coupon code you can use, Tracy M, all one word. So use that coupon code, gives you an additional discount, and they already have like major discount prices on the Brush Guys. So go and check those out.
I'm going to say something that we've said before.
What's that?
If you don't send us your information when we call out your name for a prize, 14 days.
Yeah, 14 days, and it goes back into the...
If you don't claim your prize, you're SOL.
Yep.
It goes right back into our pile of goodies, and, well,
Somebody else will win it.
somebody else will get a chance.
Yeah.
So, if your name gets called out for one of the prizes, go to tracymoreau.net, hit the speech bubble in the bottom right-hand corner, and send us your information.
Yep.
So that way we can send your prize to you.
Yeah. Otherwise, because we haven't got time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time to track people down. It's just easier. So if your name is called for one, let us know. Give us your shipping information so that we can get them out to you. So out comes that mop brush. Now all that mop brush does really is just diffuses the color a little bit, softens the floats, helps eliminate those halos, those lines that you get.
The link for the brushes are in the description.
Yep.
I think it's the very bottom one. It's thebrushguys.com.
Yep.
Click on that, and we provided you with the coupon code.
Yep.
Use it.
Tracy M. Don't forget to use that coupon code.
It's a good discount on already discounted brushes.
Yep.
So we got Tombow pencils.
We have a set of Tombow pencils, and we have 3 sets of Tombow, and it is their watercolor markers.
Yeah.
So essentially, you can draw, sketch, create, color something in using the markers, and it has dual ends. So it has a brush tip, and it has like a marker tip, nice fine point. And then you can go at it with a water brush and create all sorts of really cool effects, watercolor effects. They're fantastic markers. So if you want to give those a try, or if you want more information about them, go to tombow.com.
Oh, yeah. And you can go to Sandy McTeer and get the IPC brushes.
Yes. Sandy's got them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Has some of them.
Yep. The ones that we use the most often.
Pretty much the point blenders, right?
Point blenders. I like the flat top blender too. That's another one. Let me show you that.
Oh.
Since I got you
Is
here,
it kind of like a...
a flat top blender. This is a flat top blender.
Almost like a...
It's kind
flip.
of like a mop, except it's got it's blunt, like a stencil brush. Super, super soft.
Almost like it's a makeup brush.
Yeah. Well, actually it is. But it's an absolutely fabulous brush for rouging. Doing little soft...
Rouging?
Rouging. So if you're into working with oils, doing oil rouging, this is a fantastic brush. The point blender is one of my favorites. I can float with this. It's a phenomenal brush. That point blender is a fantastic one. And the other brush that's in that line is this one. This is an oval blender. So this one has got a slightly different, but look what happens when you press down on it or squeeze it. It gives you a nice chisel edge. So if I wanted to blend up to a line, I get a nice sharp edge. It's a fantastic brush. I love these.
Is there a demo on these brushes? I have only done watercolor once many years ago.
On the Tombow,
Yeah.
Tombows are literally a marker.
Yeah.
Just like a good old-fashioned Crayola or a Sharpie. The difference being is that the color that they use in it is water soluble and beautifully pigmented, lots and lots of color. So you can draw with them, and then you take a water brush. A water brush is a different creature altogether. And essentially it's a brush that holds water inside it, the handle, and then you can manipulate the color that way. They're super easy to use. The colors are spectacular.
When is your new pattern coming out?
The new pattern, it's out.
Oh.
The local honey one.
Yeah.
It's called Home Sweet Home, and it is already up on the website.
Yeah. Between you, Sandy, Deb, I go broke very fast. Sorry, Linda.
So do we.
Sorry, Linda. Does Deb have the brushes?
I don't know if Deb has some of the IPC or not. She might.
Maybe.
She might. I love the point blenders. Check out Deb's website. She may have some in stock.
Wow, you're going pretty quick with this.
Well, this one is not a difficult one to paint. It's very basic techniques. It's just...
Linda got it, and it's printed out already. Yep.
Yep.
That sounds like Linda.
Yeah. I do love this. I've been playing with some of the new cover distributing stencils. I'm just absolutely in love with them and having so much fun.
176.
176 names on that wheel.
Yep.
Wow.
176 names. They made the wheel smaller. I don't like that.
It makes it harder to see.
I can't see anything on it. There, I made it bigger.
So all of these flowers get shaded the same way, with the same color, I should say. And again, I'm using a 3/8 angle. And you can come back in and deepen shadows. If you don't feel that you're not getting, or if you feel you're not getting the depth that you want, don't be afraid to go back in with the same color and give it another float.
Teresa Casper just donated $20 to feed the puppers.
Nice, Teresa. Thank you, Terry.
And the message says, "Thank you for being you." With a pair staring at a mirror and being very narcissistic.
Oh.
Yeah, falling in love with his own reflection.
Is it a pair?
It's a pair.
Okay.
So says pair character looking at himself in the mirror saying, "Thanks for being you."
Aw.
With hearts popping out of its eyes. Okay.
Yeah,
That's very descriptive.
For those of you that don't know this, there is a super chat feature on the YouTube channel, and through that you can make donations to the channel. Well, Renee and I were tickled when we figured out that we were able to do that, but we'd also decided that if we were going to allow donations to come through that, then they obviously had to go to something worthwhile, and so all the proceeds from the super chat go to our local SPCA.
Yes. Feed dogs and cats.
Feed the puppers and the kitties, the floofs.
I think we've raised enough to at least spay 3 cats or 2 dogs.
Yep. So, yep.
Or feed them for like 3 weeks.
Yep. So, and that's what we do with it. So those funds, anything that is collected through Super Chat, that's where it goes. To feed the puppers. Not our puppers.
No, not our puppers.
Our puppers
She's more than well fed. She
puppers
doesn't need any help getting fed.
Yeah. Our puppers is just fine. Thanks very much.
Yes, got to feed those puppers.
Yeah.
And the kittens.
Miss Dot got new tires for her wheelchair.
Yeah. Those weren't cheap.
No. We're discovering that a dog in a wheelchair is Not for the faint of heart.
No. You gotta love your puppers.
You gotta love your puppers, and we just love ours. So, our Miss Dot, she got to use her skis this winter, which we thought was hilarious.
Once.
Yeah, well,
No, twice.
twice.
Feed the floofs.
Feed the floofs. We feed the floofs, and we feed the puppers.
Yeah. Could you show us your palette and demonstrate how to load your float using
Sure.
glazing medium?
Okay, well, I always. So, let me turn this way. So, I better clean that. I'm going to clean out my brush. So, I take my brush, I blot it on paper towel to take the excess water out. And then I dip my brush into the glazing medium. And I draw it up the sides to take out the excess so it's not drippy. And then it's a point load, so I turn the angle onto its point and I pick up just a small amount of color. You don't need a ton of color on the brush to do this.
Sorry. That can't be an accurate number, can it?
What?
Sadly, Becca Buckner, since my sister passed away 2 weeks ago, I've been busy trying to find homes for 20 chihuahuas
Oh
and
my.
2 collies.
Oh my goodness.
20. Who has 20 chihuahuas?
A breeder?
Even a breeder shouldn't have 20 chihuahuas.
I don't know. Maybe puppies. All
Wow,
you need is a
that's-
couple of mamas with a couple of litters.
That
would do it.
I
So-
applaud you for taking that on.
Yeah.
That's not an easy challenge.
No. So, loading the brush, small quantity on the tip of the brush. It's got the glazing medium in it, and you're going to blend back and forth. And this is important when you're loading a brush. I see people do this where they just tap the brush like this. This only distributes paint on one side of the brush. You need to flip the brush back and forth. That way you get an even distribution of color throughout the brush. And then you need to walk it. So you see the little arrow pointing to the left? Walk the brush that way into the puddle, then walk it back. And that will give you a nice even load of color in your brush. So that when you do this, the whole brush on that surface, that's how you get that nice even float. Whole brush on the surface makes a world of difference. And then while it's wet, tap the edge of that float with your mop. It gives you a nice, soft, even float. Now, I got a quick one for you.
Deb's here.
Hi, Miss Deb.
She's got coffee and puppy.
She's got a coffee and a puppy.
Yep.
Miss Daisy, my God, that thing is cute.
You are not getting a Yorkie.
No, I don't. I don't want a Yorkie. I want a Rottweiler.
Yeah. And name him
I am
Fluffy.
not. I am not a little dog person.
No.
I like big dogs.
You need a dog that's able to keep you warm.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Little dogs are cool too.
Little dogs are awesome, but I'm not a little dog person. No. I'm a big dog person.
I'm a wolfhound person, but do not have the space for a wolfhound.
No. So I've got these in. I wanted to talk about something real quick. If you find you're having a hard time getting floats to give you a nice, smooth look, here's a little trick. Take your brush, load it with water. Brush it over your surface. Just like that. Let it sit for a second. Load your brush. And go over that damp spot with your float.
Becca Buckner. I live in Ohio. Okay. So those of you who are near Ohio and that can help Becca with finding homes for 20 chihuahuas and 2 collies,
Get
in touch with her.
Yeah.
Help the puppers out.
Help the puppers. Make sure puppers get good homes.
Yeah. Chihuahuas are awesome dogs. They are bred for companionship. They're meant to be in the house.
And they're meant to be with people.
And they're meant to be with people. They're awesome dogs. Dot grew up with one in the house. Not this house, but my old house out in Winnipeg. But she can handle a little dog.
Well, she lives with Gizmo now.
Yeah, she lives with Gizmo. That's pretty much a little dog.
It's a cat that thinks he's a dog.
Yeah. But get in touch with Becca Buckner. Buckner? Yes, Buckner. Get in touch with her if you can help find a home for these 20 Chihuahuas and 2 Collies.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, that would be wonderful. So I just went through, just deepened all of my floats. I'm really happy with how deep they are. So now I want to start adding a few highlights to our petals. And again, we're going to float those. We're going to do that with warm white. And it's the same process. So again, if you find you're not getting, the nice soft floats that you want, a little bit of water in your brush, float over the area with the water, load your brush. And put your float in place.
Oh, JL got her fluid acrylics.
Yay!
She went straight to Kensington Art Supply in Calgary. So.
Kensington is great.
Yeah.
So I'm using just thinned warm white to put a highlight on the edges of my petals. And when I say thinned, I am not using it straight out of the bottle because it is just too opaque. I want a soft highlight. So that's what I'm doing. I'm giving it a soft layer. If you want it brighter, you can always put more on. But if you start with a thin layer first, a weak subdued float, you're going to have better luck.
Oh, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Is it the fact that you make your brush go to the left and to the right for spreading the paint for floating and make it possible to avoid the bead on the border of the float?
Yes.
Yes.
When you're walking, you notice that I put that arrow in place when I talked about it earlier, and I drew that little arrow like that. So I pick up my color on my brush and I lay it onto my surface, and I have not moved the brush in that direction yet. I'm still staying there. But when I start walking the brush that way and then I walk back, it gives you a much softer transition of color. If I were to just stay in one place, what you end up with is a band, because it's not moving the color through the brush. So if you blend, 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 and then walk into it, and then walk back out, you get that nice soft transition of color. It eliminates that hard line at the edge of the float.
Are any of you Canadians close to where they filmed Heartland? Heartland.
Heartland. It's about an hour and a half up the road.
No, the show.
Oh, the show Heartland. No, that's filmed out in Alberta somewhere.
Yeah.
Like near Lloydminster or something.
Yeah. Lloydminster, Medicine Hat area.
Yeah. That's out west.
That would be JL's area of expertise.
Yep. Miss Deb knows.
Miss Deb knows.
She used to live in Calgary, cow country.
What brand on your blender brush? Dynasty. Every brush she uses is Dynasty.
Yeah. I've been a Dynasty girl for close to 20 years.
She has more brushes than she does anything
Clothing.
else. Anything else.
I can't even say that paint comes a close second because I don't think it does. I've got, ridiculous amounts of brushes. I like brushes. I like good brushes.
I painted this with you last September. I love it looking at it now. I think I need more shading floats. Still in my pile to varnish.
That's the fun part about this type of thing is that you can always come back to it. I always wondered when I was a kid what the expression art is never finished, it is merely abandoned. Always wondered what that meant. And then once you become a painter, then you start to understand what that means.
Heartland was filmed in the High River area.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have no idea where that is. I've only ever really driven through that area.
Not familiar enough.
And I spent 3 weeks in Edmonton. And I really didn't leave the base. So, I don't know much about Alberta.
I know it's beautiful.
Oh, and Wainwright. Yeah, Wainwright. Nobody likes to admit they've been to Wainwright. They much rather forget it.
Well, now.
Oh, even the people from Wainwright know that they wish they could leave. And when they do, they don't want to remember where they came from.
One of my favorite places in Alberta, I've been there a few times, I drove through Canmore. And it's such a beautiful area. It's just beautiful.
But it's the butt of every joke.
I know. It's Mike from Canmore.
Because Canmore is one of those towns where it's like, and there it was.
Yep. It is, but you know what? It's such a beautiful area.
It's like Crow's Mills, Nova Scotia.
Hey.
What?
Don't be dissing my hometown. It's a wide spot in the highway.
Did we miss it? I don't know. Were we looking for it?
Even the village of New Maryland, small as it is a lot bigger than Crow's Mills.
Yeah. Crow's Mills is an intersection.
Well, not really. Not anymore.
No?
No, it's expanded a little bit. A little bit.
So it has more than one gas station now?
It doesn't have a gas station.
Oh, right.
We shared a postal code with the next village. That's how small it was.
I'm from Sussex, New Brunswick. That's Crow's Mills right there.
No, Sussex is bigger than Crow's Mills.
Sussex, New Brunswick.
Sussex is a nice place.
Oh, she's been living in Calgary for 22 years, and she's from Sussex, New Brunswick.
Who's that?
Good, you escaped.
Sussex is a nice place. I like Sussex. It's a pretty little town. Sussex is a nice area.
Jessica, it's the sad truth. I've ruined lots of money in clothing.
Yeah, I know.
You're a painter.
There comes a point where every painter, we have painting clothes.
Oh, Faye Reed.
And we have that one outfit that doesn't have paint on it.
Yeah. Faye Reed, the person you're wondering who's from Sussex is Beth Bezant. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Bezant? Bezant. She's from Sussex.
Sussex.
And you're 15 minutes away from Sussex.
Yep. I was going to say that. Miss Fee Reed's in that neck of the woods.
Lori Fife, hello. It's time.
Hey, Lori.
Lori.
My pal Lori. She's been out traveling. She's in Revelstoke, yeah.
Yeah, Revelstoke. Yes, small world.
Yeah. We're, Beth, we're in the village of New Maryland, which is just south of Fredericton.
Yeah. It's literally a village.
It is a village. It's a nice little village, though. We like it.
I've been hooked watching Anne-Marie videos and interviews.
Anne-Marie or Anne Murray?
Anne-Marie.
Oh, okay.
Anne-Marie.
She's from Spring Hill, Nova Scotia.
I've been on Google Map checking out the Canadian areas as they were mentioned. Now things are starting to make a little sense when you talk about the cities there.
Yeah,
You
context
you
makes a
you
big
can't
difference.
call them cities.
Well, depends. Toronto's a city.
Toronto's a city, yes.
Yeah.
Toronto is a city. Winnipeg is a city.
City.
Calgary is a city. Edmonton is a city.
Sussex is
Fredericton is not a city.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The city of Fredericton.
St. John is a city.
Yes,
Fredericton is not.
it is.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's based on population, the city of Fredericton.
Are they counting, like, everybody?
Well, we have close to 80,000 people in the city of Fredericton.
Okay.
It's a nice little city.
Okay.
It's a small city.
I would call it a town.
No, it's a city.
Yeah, I would call it a town. Moncton is a conglomerate.
Moncton is, I think, one of the fastest growing cities in the province.
Yeah. Moncton is growing.
Yeah.
Dieppe.
Yep.
Bathurst.
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 We're going
You
to,
can't say Bathurst.
No,
I'm from Bathurst. No, you're not from Bathurst.
you're from Bathurst.
You know how I know you're lying? Because even people from Bathurst don't say Bathurst.
Bathurst. Bathurst
It's
is
Bathurst.
it's a small city in the northern part of the province, and it is the Acadian area,
Yes.
predominantly Acadian area of the province. So yes, we jokingly use a rough French accent to pronounce the name Bathurst.
Sorry, Renee. Villages? I'm from Texas. It's either a city or a town.
No, we're in a village.
We're in a village.
Yeah, we live in a village, tiny little town.
I
little
think
village.
we're less than 10,000.
We're less than 5,000.
We're less than 5,000. It's the kind of place where everybody knows your name. Kind of like Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't see that.
What?
$10 for the puppers.
Yay!
Are you going to spin that wheel?
It's driving you nuts, isn't it?
That's Jessica.
He is.
I can spin the wheel. Give me a second. Let me pop it open.
So I'm just using a little bit of orange flame. I based the centers of these flowers with a little bit of saffron yellow, which is that bright school bus yellow. And I'm just using a tiny little bit of orange flame to shade that center portion. I wanted to do that before I do the next bit, which is using all that diox, because I love my diox purple.
Why did that wheel shrink? Why is the wheel shrinking?
I don't know.
I have 176 names.
Well,
All right, give me a second. And switchy.
I'm in a village. Baltimore, Ohio is not a village.
Baltimore. Oh, Baltimore, Ohio. I'm in a village, Baltimore, Ohio.
Okay,
Not
so-
big
so
enough
it's
to be
not
called a
Baltimore.
town or a city. I live in a village in Illinois.
I love the village.
1,100 people.
Yeah, that's a village.
That's a village.
Yeah. We're less than 5,000. We live in one of the older
I
parts.
guess you could say we're not even a village. We're a community.
No, I think it still classifies as a village.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Eh,
But,
all right.
yeah, I like it.
All right.
The sign that leads us in says Village of New Maryland.
Village in New Maryland. It's also the last place of the last fatal duel.
Yep. Historically, that's our claim to fame.
Yeah. It was the last one that was legally allowed to proceed and be fatal.
Yep. And both participants died.
Both participants died. Bang, bang. Ow, ow, oh. Well, that settled
One
it.
died at the scene. The other one died of sepsis several days later.
That's what you get.
Not the brightest method. Boy, that wheel did get
It's
small.
settled arguments.
Yeah, well, no, it was initially supposed to settle statements of honor, but
And land disputes.
in land disputes. But yeah, not. Well, what do we got?
All right,
Holy
well, who are we going to start with? What are we going to start with? Start with the One that never got picked up.
Okay. So we've got a set of Tombow pencils and some other goodies in
Where's
there.
my mouse? We're spinning. I'm going to use my sticky notes. Who is it? Who did? Who did?
Who is it?
Crystal Hendricks.
Yay, Crystal!
I'm pretty sure she hasn't won one in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Crystal Hendricks. And I do believe we have Crystal shipping information on the server.
Do we?
Yeah, because she's ordered from us, so. She has ordered her goodies and supplies, so yes, I'm pretty sure she's got.
All right. You won Tombow pencils?
Tombow pencil set. And there's some other goodies in there, probably some brushes and, keychains and all that good stuff.
Baltimore is a nice village. I live in the country outside your village.
Live in the country.
Okay. I don't know. I can't see the Facebook stuff.
Well, we're the village of New Maryland, if you keep driving, it's called Highway 1. Why, I have no idea. If you go through the village of New Maryland and just keep on going, it'll take you out to Tracy and Harvey and yeah, all these little tiny towns. So believe it or not, there's even smaller villages than this. So
I'm pretty sure there's a village past Fredericton Junction
yeah.
that literally has a population less than 10.
Yeah, I believe it. There's some tiny little places out there.
Let's do one more.
Okay, you go right ahead.
Okay. It's spinning. Spinning. We got Tombow watercolor markers.
Tombow watercolor markers. There's, I believe it's a set of 10.
Karen Ballard.
Karen Ballard. Nice.
And I'm just going to say this. Jessica, your name was right above hers. Just saying. Just going to point that out and make you mad.
You're evil. Mean and nasty.
If you think I'm kidding.
I believe you.
We're going to zoom in on this.
Good grief.
I think.
That wheel is either really full or
your
getting
name
really
is
full.
right above hers.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Okay, let's get back to painting this.
What was the name again?
Karen Ballard.
Karen Ballard.
Looney Tune.
So make sure you come to the website and send us your information so we can send it to you, Miss Karen.
Yep. So I'm going to use, the next step here is to shade the insides of these,
I gotta switch.
mouth of these flowers. So I'm using a little bit of Diox purple. And I'm being very sparing with it because Diox is a strong color. It's a very strong color. So I'm going to blend it out quite a bit. So this is the color that I'm going to shade the inside of this, the mouth of this flower with.
Stop picking on Jessica. I'm not picking on her. Yeah, I kind of am, aren't I?
I think she's one of your favorites. That's why.
I don't have favorites.
Well, favorites to torment.
Favorites to torment.
Yeah.
Would it be called bullying? Am I bullying you, Jessica? You probably could just take my name off the wheel. That'd be okay.
No.
No. We can't do that.
Silly.
Gotta still give our moderators the opportunity to win something.
Yeah. So I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to deepen that shadow. I'm just using a weak float of Diox purple. And again, I prefer to use weak floats because it gives you a lot more control over those shadows. So I'm having the ability to put layers of color on makes a big difference in the end.
Glazing Medium is Joe Sonia's fast drying glaze.
Yes. You can do this with just water. I'm partial to using the glaze. One, strengthens the paint, and two, it helps the paint flow really nicely. So I've got my shadows in place, and I'm going to put a little highlight on. I'm going to use a little bit of warm white, and I'm going to put a little highlight on the outer edge of that little purple fold, or that purple petal, just to brighten the edge. And it also gives us a nice contrast.
Linda says, "Hey, Jessica, we're both in the same boat." It's like having a little brother that picks on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except this one's not so little.
Don't mind being picked on.
There.
Jessica hasn't won one in a while.
She has not won in a while. Be careful.
But we do send gifts to our moderators every now and then.
Yeah.
Just to let them know that we appreciate everything they do. Do you have a code for Amazon?
I wish, but no, I don't.
No discount codes for Amazon. Sorry.
That would be nice.
If Amazon would, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yoo-hoo! Do you finish the beehive painting I saw on Facebook?
I did. The pattern is up on the website.
Yes. TracyMoreau.net. You can go find the pattern.
Yeah. There's a link on my Facebook page.
Sandy was nice enough to put the link in the chat earlier. So if you can go back and...
I had fun doing that one. I couldn't get stopped, though. I ended up doing 2 pieces.
That's par for the course.
I ended up doing 2 pieces. Put them both in the pattern because, So I'm just tweaking a few highlights on these petals because they weren't quite bright enough to suit me. I wanted to make them pop a little bit. I love how these colors are so soft. And they work really well.
Yes, there's still more prizes to be won.
Yes, we still have 2 more to give away today.
Yeah. My computer froze, came back up, and I won something. Yes, Crystal, you did.
Yep.
You won something.
Crystal.
Happy dance.
Crystal, you won a set of Tombow pencils and some other goodies.
Yeah.
Yay. There we go. So our next step, I think I'm good with this the way it is. So I'm going to dry that. And I'm thinking we're going to go up and we're going to do a little bit of work on our butterfly up here. Just make sure it's good and dry. This little butterfly up here needs some polka dots. Now, when I did the original piece, I put white polka dots on. And then after the fact thought to myself, because I like that. So I'm just arranging my stencils so that I get lots of polka dots. And I'm going to grab my stencil brush and I'm going to use a little bit of lamp black on my... I'm going to swirl that both directions because I want a nice even distribution of color. And I'm going to blot that on a little bit of paper towel. And I'm going to lightly and in a circular fashion apply black polka dots to my pink butterfly.
Are you going to show the painting?
Which painting?
I'm the new honeybee one.
New? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can show that a little bit later.
Yep. So, I'm just not happy with this right now. Oh my gosh, really? Of course, I just messed up my stencil. There we go. Didn't quite have enough paint in my brush, so I was not getting nice polka dots. Not the way I wanted. So, I'm going to change directions. And bang some. I have polka dots on my butterfly. So I'm going to dry that. don't know why, but I just like the fact that my polka dots match my teacup, that my butterfly matches my teacup. Now, on the original large-scale piece, the sweet pea piece, I had a pink butterfly with black polka dots, and I had a white butterfly with black polka dots in both of them. And I really like how that looked, but for these smaller pieces, I thought this was fun just to have the one butterfly. So now that that's dry, we're going to give this butterfly a little bit of a shading. I'm going to do that with a little bit of asphaltum. I do not want this color full strength. I want it quite weak because it's just meant to deepen the shading close to the body, like so. So it is not a strong float, but it does make a marked difference in the shading. And I'm going to use that same color to deepen a few shadows behind the main flowers. So wherever I shaded with that berry cobbler is going to get a float of that asphaltum.
Today we have some rain. Tomorrow it's predicted to be 80 degrees.
Ooh.
Weird weather.
We'll be happy to get into double digits at this point. We're still seeing 0 at night, so it's still a little chilly. So
there you go. Double digits.
Double digits. Are we there?
Yeah, it's
Yay.
12 degrees outside.
Oh, nice. Warm and toasty. By the way, that 12 degrees is Celsius. Don't get too excited.
Yeah, with a low of -1 tonight.
Yeah, see?
And it's raining right now.
And it's raining right now, so that little float of asphaltum just deepens it, sets these back flowers back a bit, and it brings these forward flowers forward a bit.
Supposed to have snow tomorrow.
What? Did you say snow tomorrow?
Sunday.
Snow?
Snow. 90% chance.
Snow.
Snow.
It's just wrong.
And then sunny on Monday.
Of course. Sunny and what on Monday?
Sunny and 15 degrees.
Talk about weird weather.
Snow on Sunday, sunny and...
Look at our friends in Manitoba.
I feel no sympathy for them. They made their choice.
Our friends in Manitoba had over 50 centimeters of snow this week. 50 centimeters of snow.
Oh, give me a second. I'll show you.
It is... However, I will say this. Having spent 10 years in Manitoba, I saw it snow in August. Yeah. They can keep it.
That's outside Sean's house.
Yeah. Oodles of snow.
My best friend's house has got more snow on it than we've had all winter.
Yeah. Yeah, we did not get a lot of snow this year.
No.
We were hoping, but we didn't get it.
The burr? What? Burrs? How often do you dress your brush with the fast dry glaze?
Every time I load. Every time I load my brush, I pick up a little more.
Come on, some sympathy? No.
No.
No, not for Winnipeggers.
They're a tough bunch.
Yeah.
They can cope.
I lived there for close to 20 years.
Yeah.
And no. No. No sympathy.
So I've got my shading in place. I've deepened everything with a little bit of asphaltum. I'm happy with all of that. So our next step, we're going to finish off this butterfly. We're going to do that with a little float of warm white. I'm still using that 5/8 angled shader or 3/8 angled shader. I'm going to put a little float down the body, a little bit of warm white, and a little float on the head. Just a little bit, just to give him a little bit of shape. And then we're going to use a liner brush to add the other goodies, his antennae. I'm going to use my 10-aught extra long detail liner for this. A little bit.
The saying in Calgary is wait 5 minutes if you don't like the weather.
Yeah.
The same goes for here.
Yeah, here
but
on
it's
the
a
East
little
Coast,
bit more predictable here.
a little bit.
You can watch your weather come.
Yeah, that's true.
Say, oh, it's gonna rain.
Yep.
It's nice and sunny right now, but I can see the rain coming.
Yeah. Especially
That's-
if you're on the coast.
It's also Manitoba.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
You can see it coming, but you don't know when it's coming.
Depends on how fast that's moving. We had a thunderstorm here the other night.
Yeah, that was strange.
We had snow during the day, and then we had a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good one. The light show was pretty. That was pretty good. So I've got my liner out. I'm loading it up with a little bit of warm white because we're going to put a little bit of warm white on our stems here. All of that greenery. The reason I'm doing this is because we're working over black and the green is not going to show. And I just realized I missed something.
Easter forecast, 40% chance of snow showers, whatever those are. Yeah. Snow showers. It's freezing rain, and snow all at the same time.
Yeah. Snow showers.
Snow showers.
I just realized I missed a portion of the flower under here.
Oh, in your base coat?
Yeah, when I was base coating. And I missed a piece of it down here too. Hello. Lights are on. Nobody's home. Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly put that in because I'll be sitting here wondering why I've got all these funky little bits with no paint on them.
New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland, and Nova Scotia, all of our
the Maritimes,
the Maritimes and the East Coasters, will understand when I say it's slushing.
Yeah, it's slushing. We just get this sloppy mess of rain and snow.
Yeah, so it literally snows/rains at the same time, creating slush.
Yeah.
And it's gross.
Yeah.
You don't get that in places like Montreal.
They get that other crap there, that's sleet.
Yeah. You get either frozen or snow.
Yeah, it's either it's ice or it's snow. There's no happy medium. So I've got stems, all of these little stems in here. I'm just going to paint those with this warm white. I prefer to have this little bit of warm white under this green because otherwise it just doesn't show up well.
Yes, Maine falls into that category as well.
Yeah. Well, Maine is right next door.
Yeah. Maine, parts of New York. New York gets slushed.
Yeah, they get slushed.
Yeah.
And we have a few little tiny leaves in this one right here. I'm also going to base coat those with a little bit of white.
In Vancouver, we have pouring rain in the front of the house and sunshine in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some weird weather.
What was it? We had here, a couple of weeks ago? The sun was out. It was a blazing sunny day and it was snowing to be hell.
Yeah.
It's like, how does that happen? How does that happen?
I'm in Houston, Texas, and it's been mid-80s during the day. If only it was like that in the summer.
Yeah, Houston is hot.
Damn.
Houston is a neat city, though. Gotta say. I have met some of the coolest people in Houston. They're fun. Don't get them on the subject of football.
We call that grapple?
Trying to grapple.
Grapple?
Okay, so I've got my leaves in. Now, you can use...
I gotta go check on Puppy.
I'm going to use like matcha green for my green down here. And the reason is because it's such a light green. If I didn't put down a little bit of white, it would just get kind of grayed out because of that black. So I'm using a little bit of matcha green over top of my warm white. And then I get a nice bright, like leafy green. out of it. If I didn't put that white down, it would take 2 or 3 coats to get a nice opaque coverage. And this way you only have to do it once. And it gives you a nice citrony green. I love this color. It's nice and opaque, covers well. But over top of the black, it just loses something. Even though it's an opaque color, it just takes on a really grayed out effect if it doesn't have a little bit of white underneath it. So I like to have that little thin layer of white underneath. Just gives the green a nice little punch. And so we get those stems painted. Like so. And we're going to use that same green on those little leaves. I'm also going to use it for the vines, those little vines and tendrils that you see in there. But we're going to worry about these leaves and the stems first. So that little bit of white, look at how nice and bright that green is over top of that white. Gives you a great look. It's still 2 coats of paint, but the end result is you get a much brighter green. Super pretty. Now I'm going to dry that because we're going to use a little bit of plantation pine to shade that green. I like plantation pine. It's a nice dark but very transparent green. Works really, really well for this. Just make sure that my paint is dry. Let me just tidy up my workspace. Trying to get all my ducks in rows here. Here we go. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to go to my 3/8 angled shader, dip into my fast dry glaze or water, corner load, a little bit of green, and you're going to blend this out really well. Walk into it and walk back out so you get a nice transition of color. And we're going to put a shadow at the base of these leaves. It's a little C-shaped float at the bottom of these leaves, where the stem joins. That's going to give us a nice little curve in those leaves.
Oh. Vicky says, I took a class from you when you taught at the Expo Houston.
Years ago, yes. I loved going to Houston. It was a great place to teach. It's a lot of fun. Houston Expo. Tim Mulvey used to do that. Tim was a great guy. And we always had such a good time in Texas. They were so much fun to be with. Folks in Texas are a lot of fun.
No, we don't have those brushes for sale on the website.
Which one?
The one you're using.
The 5/8 or the 3/8 angle shader. This is a faux squirrel. You can find that on the Brush Guys website.
Sorry. But we'll point you in the right direction.
Yep. And make sure you get a discount.
Yeah. Tracy M. Use the coupon code.
Yep. I am a big fan of my faux squirrel brushes. I've been using these for close to 20 years.
It's your favorite line, is it not?
It is. I like the Dynasty Black Gold and I like the faux squirrel. The reason I like the faux squirrel is because these were designed for watercolor, so they hold a ton of water. So I can float for days with them. They're great. So I've got my shading in. So now I'm going to come back to my 10-aught liner. This is a Dynasty Micron. I use the 10-aught and the 15-aught. Those are my two favorite liners in that lineup. Now I'm going to thin out a little of that matcha green, that bright green that we base coated the stems and the leaves with. I'm going to thin some of it out and I'm going to add a touch of white to it. Just a touch. I just want to make it a little lighter. And I'm going to do all of my little vine work with this.
Oh, no. She doesn't want to become the one-stop shop.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't have anywhere near enough room to do that.
No. We would need a warehouse.
Yeah, and I don't want a warehouse.
Yeah.
So there is my... All those little vines and tendrils are just done with that thinned matcha green and a little bit of white, just enough to change the value of it a little bit.
And if we had the one-stop shop, we wouldn't be able to support like our other artists like Deb and Sandy, and
Exactly.
so we kind of send you all over the place because it helps other artists.
That, and I can't stock everything. If I stocked everything I used, I'd be in a world of hurt. I'd need a whole nother building.
You need a whole nother building.
As it is.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
it is.
So I'm going to... Now, this is something I like doing to my leaves. And if you've been painting with me at all, you've probably seen me do this. I like this sort of loose little outline around my leaves. It's just a thing. I like the texture it creates. I like the softness it creates. You don't have to do it. If you're not fond of doing that type of line work, don't feel that you have to. You don't. I just like how it looks. That's just a me thing. Yay! So I've got my floating done, got my highlighting done. I'm going to dry this because I want to erase some graphite lines because I hate graphite lines.
Well, that's right too.
What's that?
I was thinking, like, you didn't do anything for the background, but looking at the other pieces,
No, it's one of the few pieces that I haven't done anything for the background.
yeah.
We are going to do a little bit of framing using a white pen.
Yeah, just to fill up that negative
Just to
space.
fill up the space. I'm going to grab my Factus Black and I'm going to remove some graphite lines because I don't like graphite lines. But that Factus Black takes care of those really quickly.
Oh, Linda Safranco has a question.
Oh,
Down by the saucer, it looks like the cup is away from...
right here.
Yeah.
It's just, I've got a float of asphaltum in there. That disappears when we do this next step. Right here. That's what that little white float was for. Where'd my brush go? There it is. So this area right here, I'm going to brighten it a little bit so that you can see it. I just put a weak float right here on that, just to lift that part of the cup off of the surface a little bit. Probably wasn't quite bright enough for the camera to pick it up. So I'll dry that. And then we're going to break out my favorite, my gel pen. I love my gel pen. And we're going to do two things. I need my liner back. I'm going to take a little bit of lamp black. I'm going to thin that out a little bit. And we need to put a string to our tag. I'm doing this with a little bit of lamp black. You can do it with whatever you like. And then I'm going to put a shadow in by thinning out a little bit of asphaltum. And my liner brush, and I'm going to come other side over here, just to the left of that line with a thin line of asphaltum, just to the left of the black line. That's going to create a little bit of a shadow.
Ooh. Patrick says, you're right. In France, we only have a handful of decorative painter artists, and they compete so hard that it's very unpleasant for us, the consumers / pupils.
So to me, this industry has got plenty of room for everybody. If we work together, support each other, we all make out just fine. So I'm a firm believer in supporting other artists and other designers because it behooves us to do so. I don't like...
And most other artists will pay it back in kind.
Absolutely. They
Most.
reciprocate. I haven't met too many that don't.
Mm.
So I'm just using my little gel pen here to add a sketchy line to the white areas. And it is light. It is not a hard line. It's very sketchy.
That lily is supposed to be over there.
Which lily? He's looking at lilies.
Well, you got it mixed in with the teacup
I
series.
ran out of room over here.
But you got the simplified daisy over there.
Yeah, and the other one's up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you there's two of those lilies.
There's two of almost everything. I've painted them a lot. What can I say? So I just use that little sketchy line just to soften it. I don't know. I just like how it looks.
When we'll be seeing more of the teacup series?
In the next couple of weeks.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, because I've got two of them already base coated. I still have to finish painting them and write up the patterns. But yes, I have already gotten to some of them. The two that are sitting over there are, I believe, apple blossoms and poppies.
Ooh, poppy.
Yeah.
That's different. A little bit of opium in your tea.
Yeah, opium tea. That's an idea.
Morphine tea. That's the reason why I love painting. The painting moments with Tracy, the atmosphere is much more pleasant.
I don't know. It does not have to be unpleasant to my mind. There's business and then there is the business of painting and then there's painting. The business of painting should not be unpleasant. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, they're excited about the poppies.
Like the poppies. I had a lot of people asking about apple blossoms too, but I like the poppies. I like poppies. So I'm just taking that sketchy line to the outside edge of my flowers all the way around. I like that kind of loose feel that this implies. So I like applying that. I have a thing about this loose, sketchy style. It softens things, even though it outlines things, but it softens things. Now, of course, you don't have to do this part if you don't want to. If this kind of thing doesn't appeal to you, then by all means, just do it the way whatever makes you happy.
But in France, the market is so small, I guess the question is of survival or something? Or ego?
I don't know. It's still, even with the market as small as it has been getting in the past few years, I don't feel that it has to be a cut-float industry. Everybody can be successful. There's plenty of room in the industry for everybody. That's my personal opinion. And that's how I go about doing business.
Does it smudge when you seal the canvas?
I seal mine with a matte spray first. I always do, out of habit, anytime I'm using a variety of media. And I recommend that you do. Just seal it first with a matte spray. I've never had it run on me, but that doesn't mean it won't. So, anytime you're working with a variety of media, it's always a good idea. Put a light coat of matte spray on it just to seal it, just to be on the safe side.
Does Patrick have a hard time finding supplies in France?
He does have a hard time finding supplies, especially a lot of the stuff that we use, the Americana brands. They're not always easy to find in Europe, which brings me to another thing. Patrick, I did send your box this week, and it should be there within the next week or so.
Should be.
Patrick has been doing some translations into French for me. Gotta love him. And I appreciate it. So I made sure that some of his needs for supplies are being met. I guess he's been helping me out with a few things. So he's going to find some goodies on his doorstep the next few days.
Happy Easter to everyone that celebrates it. Oh, right on.
And happy Passover to those who are celebrating that.
And those who celebrate Ramadan.
And Ramadan, of course.
Yep.
There we go. So I've got my little sketchy bits in place. So while I'm getting ready to do this last little bit, which is to add this nice little framed element to it, I'm going to do that with a wet gel pen. Do I want the right one? Of course, now I can't find the one. There it is. Okay. So I've got a white opaque gel pen. And I've got a marker. And I'm going to have a sip of tea. And Renee is going to spin the wheel.
Am I?
You are.
Yep. So Ramadan goes till May 1st this year. All right. Give me a second. I think Dad just got home from darts.
Did he?
And boop. How come I got no? There it is. Oh, you are. What is with this? There. Spinning the wheel. Let's see who our winner is. Debbie McClellan.
Debbie McClellan. So Debbie, make sure you go to the homepage on my website. Click on the little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner and send us your shipping information. And you have got a set of Tombow watercolor markers, dual markers, coming your way.
It's a lot of L's.
McClellan.
McClellan.
Boom. And we've got one more set to give away.
One more set.
Renee's gonna.
And close. Spin it again.
And then I'm going to show you how to put this little. It's just a bead. It's a simple little thing, but there's a
Lori Fife.
Lori Fife. Lori, I don't know where you want me to send it, dear. I know you're out in Revelstoke. I know I have your shipping address for your other home, so just send me a quick message through the website on that little speech bubble and send us some information so I'll know where to send your goodies.
Lori Fife.
So I've got my favorite little 6-inch steel edge ruler. And
I gotta switch screens here. Give me a second.
You never did switch screens.
I never did switch screens. They didn't see any of that.
No. I just realized it. Look.
Ta-da! See, we have the wheel up.
So I'm coming about a 1/2 inch from the edge of the canvas with my white. And 1 inch from the edge on the other side. So I'm going to come down like that. I'm going to draw a white line. And then I'm going to dry that.
My bad, guys. I forgot to click a button.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to do the same thing going the other way. I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch. Now this is going to be a sketchy line. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we've got an intersecting line. And then I'm going to come about 1/8 inch away. And I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to come past that first line by about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to stop about 1/4 inch. Like so. So now I have 2 lines. And then I'm going to repeat that process on this side. I'm going to dry that first. I like that on the canvas, this pen doesn't give you a perfect line. I like that sort of distressed appearance. And so, going to be about 1/8 inch. And I'm going to come about 1/4 inch down. And I'm going to come about a 1/2 inch past the first one.
It's too late now, Renee. I know.
And that gives you this sort of staggered looking border. And it grounds it and squares off this design a little bit so that it fills the space quite nicely. And then, of course, the only thing I have left to do is to sign it. I'm going to grab my gold paint pen for that. And put my little TM in the corner by the saucer. And there we have it. We have our finished sweet tea, sweet peas piece. I like this one. This is a lot of fun to paint. It's not a difficult one to paint. This one will go out to the garage. We'll give it a couple of coats of light matte spray just to seal everything in nice and tight. And there you go. Bob's your Uncle Sally's your aunt.
Just felt like a deja vu of the old days.
So I like this piece. I think this one turned out really nice. I like the change putting the black polka dots in. From the original had the white, kind of like that. And I remembered to put the string to the tea bag tag. Forgot to do it in the original. I just noticed it.
You never put the string?
I never put the string in the tea. Look at nothing.
And that's the original.
That's the original. Yep. Brilliant. Brilliant. So that is our piece for this week. This one was a lot of fun.
All right.
So before we go, hand me that painting off of the wall behind your head.
Yeah, I got to switch cameras here. Which one do you want to show? The big one?
The big one. Why not? Well, I'll actually give them both to me because they'll need to see it. So the pattern for this one is called Home Sweet Home. I like this one. It's fun.
I thought that was canvas.
Nope. And in it comes also the line drawing for this one, Home Sweet Home, which is the little one. So both of them are in there. The stencil that I used for this one is also available on the website. It is the Farm Fresh Honey, Local Honey. This is one of Cupboard Distributing's stencils, the CD wood stencil. So we also have that one on the website. I really like these pieces. They're fun to paint. They do use a couple of stencils. One uses the honeycomb stencil, which is the M Square 19. That's on the small one. And the big one that we used is the chicken wire stencil. And both of those are in stock and on the stencil on the website as well. Somebody had asked about the white pen that I used on the frame. That's the white opaque Uniball pen. We have those on the website. And we have the black gel pens on the website. We have the red gel pens on the website. So
what size is the little one?
The little one is an 8x8. Yep. And both line drawings are in that pattern. I like the bumblebees. I like that piece.
Well, you like the fuzzy butt bumblebees.
I have a thing for bumblebees. I have a minor obsession with bumblebees and butterflies and dragonflies because I was playing with doodling dragonflies the other day. So don't be surprised if something with a dragonfly pops up because I'm kind of obsessed with those too.
Happy Easter. Another wonderful lesson. Thank you so much. Happy Easter, everyone.
Thank you guys so much for joining us this weekend. I know that there's a lot on everybody's plates with the holiday weekend, so we really do appreciate you coming and spending some time with us. If you don't subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit that red button on the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so that you get messages and emails through the community and notifications of whenever we go live or when we post new video, which we are doing rather frequently these days. So go and check out everything that's on the YouTube channel. And if you're of a mind, hit the join button and join our paid membership group. We have lots of fun there too. What else? Karen Wilson, sweetheart, I hope you're feeling better pretty soon and that you get to go home and enjoy some turkey and goodies with your family. If not this holiday weekend, but when you do get a chance to get home. So please feel better soon. And to the rest of you, have a fabulous Easter weekend. Enjoy your time with your family and any friends that you get a chance to. It's been a rough couple of years not being able to see everybody that you know and you love. So take the opportunity to do that. Don't forget to please stay safe and we will see you again soon. Happy Easter, everyone. Bye for now.
Yay. Pet your puppies.
Pet your puppies.
I'm on the wrong mouse.
Again. He'll get us out of here sooner or later.
Yeah. Ah. There. That one.